And welcome, everybody, to Lyndhurst Community News. Today is Wednesday, April 16th. This is episode 87. I'm Brian Haggerty, and we didn't have any news last week. And as I've told you, sometimes we go through these winter months where there isn't much going on. So obviously to, do it every week, if there's nothing really going on in town, there's nothing to report. But as promised, I do want to talk today about understanding your local tax bill and the different various sections of it, which most people don't know because it's not listed. We'll get to that later. I want to get through some of the news that we do have this week, as well as a wonderful event that I attended yesterday down in our own Meadowlands. But to get started, on May 3rd, the Lyndhurst American Legion, Post 139, will be hosting its annual Scholarship Beef Steak Dinner. Now, every dime that we raise, all proceeds go to benefit graduating Lyndhurst seniors who have some type of relationship, familial relationship with a veteran. That will be May 3rd at 7 p.m., right down at the Post 139. Tickets are $60. And again, it's an all-you-can-eat beefsteak, and you will also get drink tickets as well. So mark your calendars, because if you love beef and you want to help out graduating seniors with a scholarship, come on down on May 3rd. And tonight, now I know it's Wednesday, and this is last-minute notice, but for those of you who listen, if you're interested in attending the Lyndhurst High School Spring Concert, that will be tonight at 7 p.m. in the Lyndhurst Middle School. And if you haven't been to the new middle school, this is a great opportunity to check it out, especially the beautiful theater room where this will be held. Now, the music will feature the concert band, as well as the jazz band, the choir, and, of course, the chorale, whom we featured here, especially on the holiday shows around Christmas time. They're great. Give them your support, and come on down 7 p.m. at the Lyndhurst Middle School tonight. And with the upcoming municipal election on May 13th, if you are not registered to vote, the Township Clerk's office will be, which is at 253 Stuyvesant Avenue, will be open Tuesday, April 22nd, until 9 p.m. That's the last day that you can register to vote for the upcoming municipal election. So if you or members of your family or friends are not registered, head on down there before the 22nd or on the 22nd until 9 p.m. Now, by the way, how many of you are familiar with Real ID? That's the law basically moving forward beginning in May, that if you don't have a Real ID license, then you can't fly on an airplane. However, if you have a passport, you can use your passport instead of a Real ID. So the Around the County Satellite Office and Passport Outreach Services will be coming here to Lyndhurst. Thanks to Mayor Robert Giangerusso and Bergen County Clerk John Hogan, they are extending the passport services to residents on Thursday, May 1st, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This will be held in the caucus room of the Lyndhurst Town Hall, which is at 367 Valley Brook Avenue. The event is part of the county clerk's Around the County Satellite Office and Passport Outreach Services. By the way, no appointments are necessary. It will be first come, first served. So again, if you need Real ID and you can't find all the forms that are necessary for it, try to get a passport instead. It's actually a much, far less paperwork involved. So check it out and go there on May 1st and get your passport. And of course, not to forget what's going on in local high school sports. Just some quick updates. We've got some wins to report here. So the boys volleyball team defeated Elmwood Park 2-0. Congratulations, boys. Good job. And the lacrosse team defeated Clifton 7-3. And congratulations to all of those players. That's about all for this week in terms of wins for sports. But let's move on. So yesterday, the 15th, was a lovely day and a lovely ceremony, which was held down at the Richard W. DeCourt Park, which is at the foot of Valley Brook Avenue. That is now the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority. But I wonder how many of you have ever gone down there to take a walk on that beautiful trail. There's trails all over the place. You could walk about 4.5 miles, by the way. And this is the time of year where people start walking again. Nature is returning. Everything is coming to life. Birds are migrating. It's an amazing place. And to think that 50, 60 years ago, it was one big pile of garbage. Now, those of you who've lived in this area your whole lives, you probably remember that. I remember it very well because I remember that when the wind would blow in a certain direction, we would all smell that garbage. It was a horrible thing. And a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the origins of what is now the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority, because that was combined with the New Jersey Meadowlands Commission, which was originally the Hackensack Meadowlands Development Commission. That was created by the state through legislation in 1969 to oversee the closure of the landfills. And the gentleman who was honored yesterday is no stranger to Lyndhurst. He served as the executive director for the HMDC for 18 years. And he was personally involved with overseeing and deciding how the Meadowlands would be managed to, number one, stop the garbage dumping, number two, to encapsulate so that the garbage dumps no longer leach rainwater through them into our rivers and streams, and how to bring nature back, because nature was gone. You had no migratory birds. You had no beautiful trails. You had nothing but garbage. And that gentleman is Lyndhurst's own former mayor and state senator, Anthony Scardino, Jr. So I was delighted and honored yesterday to be invited by his family for a dedication. There's a dedication of one of the trails in his name. It's now called the Anthony Scardino Jr. Overlook Trail. In fact, if you pull into the DeCourt Park, you will see immediately on the right, you will see the sign. It's a quarter-mile trail that goes up a hill, and I highly recommend people go down there and discover the beauty of this whole park and all these trails. I love it. I go down there all the time, especially in the good weather, to take walks. People are down there. Bird watchers are down there. People bring their dogs down there. People even fish. Now, of course, it's catch and release. Nobody wants to eat those fishes. But it's a beautiful place to go, very peaceful. Now, this was highly attended, of course, by many area dignitaries. Certainly the Sports and Exposition Authority, the chairman and vice chairman, and all the commissioners were there. And it was just a wonderful time for a wonderful gentleman. Now, Mr. Scardino is 88 years old. He'll be 89 in August. And I want to tell you something. I don't know what his secret is, but the man is just so youthful, so gracious, and always the gentleman. And he has spent more than 70 years of his life, if you include his tenure in the Air Force, as a public servant, and he's still keeping active and in amazing, amazing shape. So congratulations to former Mayor and State Senator Anthony Scardino on a well-deserved honor, and we were all honored there to share with you in this wonderful day. Okay, so let's talk about taxes. Here it is, the day after everyone's least favorite day of the year, April 15th, IRS filing deadline. Well, let's talk about the local tax bill that we all receive. Because you get a bill, it tells you what your quarterly payment is, but what is the breakdown of the bill? Most people don't know this because it's not on the tax bill, and when I served as commissioner, I always felt that we should have a pie chart or something there so people understood. Because what happens is you get a bill from the township because the township acts as the tax collector. And if your taxes go up, everybody get mad at the commissioners. But what if the commissioners didn't raise their budget? Where is the tax increases coming from? Well, there are other areas of the budget. In fact, the township is not the largest portion of the budget. So let's go through the tax rate. We don't have the 2025 tax rate yet because the budgets are still not done. They haven't been adopted, which is typical. That's typical. It's always been that way. So the school rate for 2024 was $1.001. The county rate was 0.234 cents, so 0.234. The library rate, yes, it's statutory. Everybody's budget also includes the library. That was 0.033 cents, which of course is very small. It's the smallest portion. And the township rate is 0.818. So that's 0.818 cents. So the total tax rate for 2024, when you add all of that up, was $2.08. So it's actually 2.086 cents. So let's break that down. So the school is the largest portion of your tax bill. Now, that's just not Lyndhurst. That's everywhere. So don't feel that Lyndhurst is unusual in that regard. It is not. The school is always the larger of the portion of the tax bill. And so the school is 48% of what you're paying goes to the school budget. And remember, the school has its own Board of Education. They set the budget. They vote on the budget and the expenditures. The library is 2%. Again, that is statutory. That is everywhere. The county is 11% of your tax bill. And finally, the township is 39% of the total tax bill. So the next question is, obviously, since your taxes are based upon the assessment of your home property or commercial property, and Lyndhurst is joining many other communities which has switched to a rolling assessment, meaning in the past it used to be that they would assess properties every 10 years or so, which again is statutory. We have to do that by law. And as a result of that, now with the new rolling tax assessments, 20% of the town properties are assessed every year, and that means that every 5 years you have a full assessment. So now someone's going to come knocking on your door once every 5 years instead of once every 10 years. The reason this is being done is obviously to keep the assessments more fair and more tied with the market, because in the past, every 10 years, real estate values can shift tremendously. So Lyndhurst is joining more and more communities who are doing that now. So I've covered that in the past. The question is then, what is the total value of all properties in Lyndhurst? So that's houses, buildings, and vacant land. That total value is $4,525,467,300. So that's quite a lot of money. But let's break that down. So obviously, the predominant figure in this township is the residential properties. They total $2,652,961,100, or 58.6% of all assessed properties. Commercial property is $1,812,082,300, or 40.4% of all properties. Now, vacant land. So we have $60,423,900 of vacant land in this property. That only accounts for 1%, which, if you live in town long enough, you realize, there's very, very little vacant land in town. Most of it is still down in the Meadowlands, and again, the Meadowlands comes under the New Jersey Sports and Expositions Authority zoning laws. We don't zone the Meadowlands, so anything that's being built down there comes out of the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority. All right, so that's the news this week. I hope you enjoy that. Now maybe you'll have a better understanding of what that number on your tax bill represents and how much goes to each. So please keep that in mind next time if you do get a tax increase. It may not necessarily be the school. It may not necessarily be the town. It could be all. It could be one, but that's how those things work. So that's basically it this week, folks. I want to wish everybody a wonderful, blessed Easter for those of you who celebrate, since we are coming up on a Easter weekend. We have Good Friday, where everybody's off. The banks are closed. Stock market is closed, thank God. Easter Sunday, and it's a wonderful time for families to get together. And also, as I always tell you, a community is not its roads, it's not its buildings, it's not its houses. A community is its people. And that's what makes Lyndhurst such a wonderful community. Wonderful people, families that have been here for generations, and new families coming in all the time. So get to know your neighbors, especially your elderly neighbors. Look out for them. Support your local businesses. That is a very, very important thing, especially with regard to taxation. And other than that, get those batteries checked on your smoke detectors. Support our volunteer firemen and EMTs in town. All of our town workers are wonderful people. So this is Brian Haggerty saying God bless you and God bless Lyndhurst. See you next week, assuming we have news. Take care.